In today's complex business environment, leaders need not only to be prepared for the worst, but also to build their resilience. At The Human Factor, Corporate Integrity Matters' Sonja Stirnimann invites top executives, board members, and industry experts to reflect and talk about the realities of corporate integrity, risk, and ethical leadership. As an international governance authority, independent director, and entrepreneur, she understands the challenges leaders face. Integrity and ethical leadership are not just principles. They build resilience, enhance reputation, and create strategic competitive advantage for organizations and for individuals.
Welcome to the Human Factor Corporate Integrity Matters. I'm Sonja Stirnimann, your host and strategic sparring partner for navigating leadership pressure, risk, and resilience. This is the second last solo episode of the year, and it is one that lands in the heart of tension for many leaders I support. It is about responsibility. Responsibility not as a value, not as a vision statement, but as a reality of what your name signs off. Let's be honest, November is not just business as usual. For some leaders, there is also some feeling of closing pressure in the room. It is when the budgets are approved, strategic commitments are finalized, audit risks are closed, some pre-audits are already done, others are quietly deferred. And pressure is high to demonstrate control before the year ends. This is the month when I'm often called in quietly, because something isn't sitting right in the final board package. The numbers align, the optics are positive, but somewhere in the room, a signature feels heavier than it should. That is the moment their responsibility becomes personal. When the responsibility isn't shared, even if it should be. Responsibility is one of the few things that cannot be delegated. Or at least not for some of our leaders. And yet in complex organizations it is often diffused, unintentionally. You have maybe heard this. The system signed off, legal gave the green light, the audit team didn't raise it. But here is the real question. Did you, as the leader, understand and own the consequence? I have witnessed cases where C-level leaders, executives signed off on strategy shifts, capital movements, or supplier relationships they didn't fully understand because no one paused to ask their uncomfortable but important questions. Responsibility was assumed, but never truly owned. There's something very human we need to address here. The emotional side of responsibility, the one no one names. Because sometimes responsibility can feel very lonely. The higher up you go, the fewer people challenge your assumptions. The more everyone assumes you have thought it through. The harder it also becomes to say, I'm not comfortable signing this yet. I need more information. I often remind my leaders, it's not weakness to feel the weight of signature. It's consciousness, and it is important. And it is in that moment where discomfort emerges that real governance begins. Real personal governance, protecting your organization, but also your reputation. And before the year closes now, I invite you to pause, not to delay decisions, but to clarify accountability. Here are 4 questions I offer my private sparring clients in Q4. The first is, what are you being asked to prove that you wouldn't stake your reputation on, privately, but also when it comes to business? What is not being said in the boardroom, but is being felt, and you don't have any additional information? The third one, who is carrying too much silent weight, and who not enough? What would need to be changed? And the last one, if you were wrong, Where will the consequence land? And how are you going to deal with it? Because ethical leadership is not just about right versus wrong. It is about ownership already before a potential crisis starts. Your signature is not just a formality, it's a commitment to your organization, to your stakeholders, but also to yourself and quietly to your own standard. As you close this year, my invitation for you, don't just finalize your decisions. Make sure you have enough information, reclaim the weight of what they mean. Because the human factor, your factor, doesn't show up in any policy. It shows up in the pause before your signature. And if you are carrying something heavy right now and need clarity, let's talk. And if not, until next time, stay precise, stay grounded, ask questions, and as always, stay human.